So if you're looking for a personal training job, we've got the questions for you that you should be asking or at least investigating with anywhere you're looking at working for. So I'm Scott Hunt, I'm the owner and founder of Fitness Enhancement. We're a nationwide personal training company. And this is Jared, one of our awesome trainers, who's clearly had a successful job interview some time ago with us. And what we thought we'd do is we'd go through these common things that when I'm interviewing people, and I've done thousands over the years, I'm talking to people about their past experiences in the industry, and the common problems I hear, I'm always like, that could have been avoided if you just asked some of these questions. So I'm going to get Jared to sort of act like he's, back in an interview and asking me some of the questions he probably should have in the interview, but it all worked out, so it's okay. And yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys about that. So hopefully you can get something out of that and find the right place for you within the fitness industry and not make some of the mistakes I've seen people make over the last 20 years of interviewing. All right, what are your questions?
Okay, so the first question I'm asking, and I can't believe I even have to ask this, but I am, do I have to work for free?
Yeah, now anyone not in the PT industry is going to be like, that is a stupid question. Anyone in the PT industry is going to realize that is a completely normal question. Now with us, no, you do not. We pay you no matter what. No rent, no expenses, no nothing. Client doesn't pay, we still pay you. Treat it like a job, you work, you get paid. That's the line I've said to 1 million people, and even then I still get some people going, so how does that work?
What's the catch?
That I don't believe it's right on so many levels, the way a lot of the fitness industry works, but that is the reality of it. Most PT jobs out there, you're going to have to work for free to some extent, which at best is a business opportunity. At worst, it's something else. Now, if that's what the system you want, there's not a problem with that. If it's all clear and transparent and you know the answers to those questions. But make sure you quiz people on that so you know if you're going to have to work for free in either finding clients or giving out free sessions or not getting paid if the client doesn't get paid. That would be our top ones.
I think that's so important to dig into that a little bit too, because it's not always necessarily transparent in a job description that you might be looking at.
No, exactly. And you assume if you're on a job site, Seek or Indeed are big ones here, that when it's a job, that you work, you get paid. Again, not my place to say what's right from a legal perspective, but definitely check that you're on the same page from an ethical perspective at the very least with the person offering the job or the business opportunity.
Okay. So my next question for you is, do I have to find my own clients?
Okay, again with us, no, we give you everyone. It is a job, treat it like a job, simple as that. We provide everyone for you. If you did have to find your own clients, as you know because you work here, we would pay you to go and find those clients. If you own one of our franchises, because we're franchised too, that is a business opportunity. Yes, you do have to find some clients in that, but the vast majority are delivered to you from us and all the franchise support we give as one of the largest personal training companies in Australia. So if you want to be the boss, get a business opportunity. If you want a job, get a job. Now, most of you probably also too became a personal trainer because you want to spend your days training people, not going out there and trying to prospect clients and feel a bit like a door-to-door salesman and take selfies every day to try and get clients on Instagram. If that's not your scene, I would recommend don't go to a place that requires you to find your own clients, because for me, I hate that type of thing. As an introvert, I couldn't think of anything worse than going out there and doing that, and I would fail miserably. Many of our successful trainers here have failed miserably at doing that and been successful here, not because they're bad trainers, but because they're bad at going out there and finding clients, and that's a whole different job to me.
Yeah, so my next question is, do I get paid if the client doesn't train? If, say, you pretend you're in a contractor role, or if you're in a client care role, either or.
Yeah, so with us, we pay the person no matter what happens. If the client doesn't pay, you still get paid. Simple as that, basically. I liken to it, think about if you're working at a coffee shop and the person nicks off and doesn't pay for their meal. Does the employee at the coffee shop still get paid?
You'd hope so, right?
You'd hope so. I was about to say of course, but perhaps not. Hospitality doesn't have the best track record either. But as a whole, yes, they do. And it's as simple as that. So for us, what we pay our trainers is irrespective of what we charge a customer. So that means if Some places out there as well will do rather than a gym rent type system, they will do you get 50% of a training fee, for example, which there's some great systems like that. But just be aware, if the person doesn't pay, 50% of nothing is nothing. So be aware of the pros and cons with that. It may be for you, it may not be, but definitely ask that question about, do I get paid if the client doesn't pay?
Yeah, and I've heard of a lot of places where that's not the case. So I think it's super important just to do your research and know what you're applying for.
Exactly, and if that's for you, that's not a problem. But don't find out after you sign a contract that you don't get paid for some things.
Yeah. Now on the other end of things, on the client end of things, something that I've heard a lot from clients that actually come into Fitness Enhancement and Fit Your Ability from other gyms is that they had a big problem with finding a personal trainer that would actually be around for more than a few weeks with them.
Yeah.
Why do you think this is?
Yeah, well, our industry's got a massive turnover. You hear all different numbers thrown out there, so I reckon averaging them all out, the average PT lasts about 10 months in the whole industry before quitting the whole industry. I actually think it's worse than that though, because the average PT has not even made close to minimum wage before they throw the towel in. Whether that be starting their own completely independent PT business or paying gym rent, either way, putting a price on your time and the money you pay for gym rent, most are made less than minimum wage. So it's simply a high turnover. It's ridiculously easy to get your personal training qualifications. It's a pretty fun job. So there's a huge amount of people who want to do it. So that's a part of it. If it's an independent, it's very hard to get going. And if you're paying gym rent, maybe the person doing gym rent was being a great trainer, had a great client, doing a great job with them, and it's going, oh my God, but I'm doing all these sessions for free as well.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. So that's a big reason, I think.
And I think that says something too with you saying it's an enjoyable job, and being a personal trainer, I can agree, it's a lot of fun to do that, and yet the turnover rate is still so high. So I think that shows a little bit of a problem with some of the things in the industry. Now, at Fitness Enhancement, you've had some trainers stay for 20 years, 10 years, really long periods of time. How have you managed to do that?
Well, I'd been a record holder on 23 years, by the way, because I started. But
there you go.
our record holder of an employee after that is 14 years, and we've had heaps of people with us for more than a decade. To be honest, it's just looking after people as part of it. We can now offer career progression and career opportunities with the size we are, so that's been a big part of it. But the biggest one has just been looking after people. Finding the right person in the first place, and if they don't ask me the questions like you're asking now, I quiz you. You'll remember in the interview, I quizzed you on all these things, and to check that you're aligned with what we work and how we pay, and then I guess had the same views on fitness. So starting with the right person is probably the first one. Just because someone's got the money to pay gym rent doesn't make them the right person. So, and then the second one is just look after people. It's not rocket science, some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to touch on being in alignment with some of Fitness Enhancement's views, like what would you say your views are on fitness and health and wellness and what that means?
Yeah, sure. So I think anyone looking at our website can sort of get that feel of it. So for us, fitness and wellness and health, it's about being able to live the life you want to be able to live. It's not about six packs and selfies. It's about getting the most out of life. That's really what it's about. It's about finding a healthy balance for people. So if someone's full on into bodybuilding, for example, there's a place for that. There's a place in our industry for that. It's just you're probably not going to fit in with our place. And what we believe is health, basically. And the same with many other things out there. There's a place for everything in the industry. But we try to double down on what we know we're passionate about and what we're great at, and find like-minded people to come into that as well. And then the rest of it, well, there's plenty of great places if that's not our side of the industry to go to. We're also very big on our disability work as well. Almost half the business now is NDIS focused around a Fit Your Ability brand. So people have got that, they don't need experience with disability, they just need that amazing personality and PT skills to be empathetic and figure out the workarounds to whatever struggles the person has. Normally, to be honest, by the time we're at the point of interviewing people, or if you've even watched the video this far, you're probably fairly aligned with what we believe health and fitness is about.
Now, you mentioned the NDIS side of things, and how would you say that plays into just providing more opportunity for more people? Because I know a lot of gyms don't really do that kind of thing as much.
No, so we're by far the biggest NDIS registered provider in the country in personal training, but we're one of the very few as well. I can't think of any other decent sized companies doing it. So at the end of the day, if you're one of the 4.3 million people with disabilities, it's very difficult to walk into your typical gym and they're not very welcoming. And again, as I said before, there's a place for that. Not every place should be for every type of person. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's a massive lack of places that are for people with a disability within the fitness industry. So yeah, it's something we're really passionate about. So yeah, if you're nodding your head watching this, you're our type of person.
Totally. And you know, I think that plays into just what the way gyms are with the clientele that they're trying to attract.
Yep.
It's actually quite a small percentage of the population. Can you speak a little more on that and what we do a bit differently with the type of clients we bring in?
Yeah, it's funny as statistics. It's really hard to get exact numbers. It's a generalisation when I say this from all the stats you read. But yeah, it's I think it's about 17% of the population has a gym membership, but only about 1 in 4 of those go on a regular basis. So it means only about 4% of the population actually go to gym on a regular basis, which is more than once per week. So less people go to gym on a regular basis than have a disability. Yet how many gyms are there for fit people? And by fit, I mean if you can walk in and get on a treadmill and use it yourself, you're fitter than many people with a disability. How many places are there to help people who are fit compared to places that are not fit, or someone has a disability or is elderly or morbidly obese? So yeah, that's definitely something we're looking at changing within the industry.
Yeah, and it's such a huge population of people, and
Yep.
I think a lot of them probably find that
Yep.
there isn't much out there for them. So is that something that you're trying to change and trying to bridge that gap a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, we know a lot of trainers there are great with people with disabilities, but without the marketing, the branding, and all the structure going around it, people just don't realise how great a lot of trainers are with disabilities. We don't make our trainers better. We help make them a little better, of course, but as a whole, people should already be great trainers when they come to us. We only hire them because they're great trainers and great people. It's getting the awareness out there that those people are with us that gets us a lot of clients. So I think if there was more awareness of how great a great trainer is, whether they be with us or without us, then that would be completely change for so many people with a disability who would realise our industry is for them.
Absolutely, and I think it goes two ways too. Like I think people with a disability having the awareness of us and knowing that we're out there and that our services are accessible for them, and then also for trainers as well.
Yep.
To be aware that they can actually work with people who have disabilities.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of trainers just don't realise that's a career path. You know, they're thinking whatever hardcore fitness things are out there, and I think that's a career path. But it's a completely saturated market that's also an extremely small market. They don't even consider that disability fitness is a career path for them. So yeah, we're really working hard to change that. We've made massive progress with doing that, but it's just a beginning, really.
Yeah. So that all sounds amazing, but in working with Fitness Enhancement, how long am I locked in for?
Yeah, sure. So that's a really good thing to ask anyone. So with us, you're not locked into any set amount of time. Depending on the role you have, our employment ones have no lock-ins whatsoever. Some of our contractor roles, it's a commitment of 100 appointments with us. So to put that in perspective, if you did 10 sessions a week for 10 weeks, that's 100 sessions, it's a 10-week commitment. We invest time, money, and effort into our people when they start out with us. So we do want to get some level of commitment in return for what we're putting into people. Ask places what the level of commitment is. That's word for word how I say it to everyone. The typical gym rent system, it depends on which one, but some will be a 1-year lock-in. So if you're going $300 per week for a year, ballpark figures, $15,000 financial commitment you're making to someone. So please be aware of that. Ask those questions within it. Others will have other different things, such as you can, work for free to pay for your gym rent, which crunch the numbers on that to really understand what that means. It normally works out that you're sort of working below minimum wage, which my place to comment on that, but I think we all know my thoughts on that. So crunch the numbers on it as to where the lock-ins are and what you're expected to commit financially to any system out there.
And it's better to do that before than it is to realize during. Right?
Yeah, please ask the stupid questions. If they don't want to answer it, there's probably a reason. Get a good friend who knows how to read a contract, or your parents or whatever, to read over it if need be. Don't feel pressure to it. In our case, we send it through to people once we've said, yep, we want you on board. And most people are a yes. Some people then go, it's not for me. That's okay. We'd rather find out now than 6 weeks down the track when it's horrible for everyone if that happens.
And then one more question I have for you is, what sort of hours am I expected to work, and what are the hours like?
Yeah, sure. So I guess for us, we have that wide variety of hours. We do a lot more during the day work than most places because of all the NDIS work, the disability work we do. But for you guys quizzing places, quiz when they're busy. If you're going and doing rent at a gym, simply go in there and have a workout at the gym. See if people are getting busy. If you're looking at committing 15 grand for a year's rent, go and do a couple of workouts there as a member and look around, chat to trainers, see if they're busy, talk to them, see what hours they're busy. Because they'll probably give you more honest answers than the person who's actually trying to sign you up. So yeah, test them out, see how it works. Probably also look at too how many leads you're going to get, what they're going to guarantee you in return. If you've got to guarantee them something, see what they're going to guarantee you back in return. Pros and cons to that, but just make sure you get the clear answers as to what you're actually getting into.
Totally. And then with Fitness Enhancement, what are the hours like, and what kind of hours would you be expected to work here?
Yeah, so look, we get that wide variety. Our 6 a.m.s and 6 p.m.s do tend to be the busiest. That's just the nature of the industry we're in. But we do have plenty of time to have got sessions during the middle of the day as well. Sometimes we get appointments that are literally 3-4 hours long because they're more along the lines of recreational disability support work. So that's great as well. Drive time is probably one of the few downsides for mobile trainers. So that's one thing to be aware of with us, to be transparent on the pros and cons. So yeah, just ask the questions, get the pros and cons.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I suppose a good question to ask an employer too is, for example, something like those mobile sessions, how would that be compensated? Mm-hmm. Like, is there an extra pay for that, or how am I compensated for doing this extra little bit?
Yeah, exactly.
And that can be with anything.
Find out the pros and cons of everything. So in our case, we pay a higher rate for the mobile sessions than the studio rate because obviously it's car expenses. And I'm very transparent in saying some of the downside is there's more car expenses with us than if you had a bricks and mortar gym. So yeah, quiz people. Yeah.
Totally, just being aware of.
Yeah. All right, so there you have it, guys. That's your top questions to ask in case you're looking at becoming a personal trainer for. So ask the tough questions of people. People who have a great offering aren't going to mind, but please ask the tough questions. And yeah, reach out to us if you've got any questions or you think we're the sort of place you'd love to be a part of. Thanks.